Madam Speaker, I rise today to seek support in renaming a post office in Glendale, California, after Paul Ignatius, an extraordinary individual whose life and legacy embody the very best of our American values. Paul is still with us today, 103 years young, still inspiring future generations. Paul Ignatius is a name that resonates deeply within the community in my district and far beyond. Born in Glendale in 1920 to Armenian immigrants, Paul dedicated his life to public service. His family was one of the earliest Armenian families to settle in burgeoning Glendale, California, arriving in 1911. Paul's grandfather even built his house on the same street as the post office to be named after his grandson nearly a century later. From humble beginnings, Paul served his nation bravely as an ordnance officer during World War II and rose to become the highest-ranking Armenian American in the U.S. government to this day, serving as the 59th U.S. Secretary of the Navy under President Lyndon B. Johnson. This remarkable journey from the son of immigrants to a high-ranking presidential appointee is a path only possible here, a dream that is uniquely American. Following his distinguished military service, Paul continued to serve the public in various capacities. He graduated from Harvard Business School and began working with the Department of Defense, where he held several key positions in both the Kennedy and Johnson administrations, helping modernize our procurement process. His tenure as Secretary of the Navy was characterized by significant contributions to the modernization of the Navy and a steadfast dedication to the well-being of our servicemen and women. His leadership during a challenging era for our nation left an indelible mark on our naval forces. Throughout his life, Paul remained true to his values and deeply optimistic about our future. His work ethic, his intellect, his integrity earned him the trust and admiration of his colleagues and the communities that he served. Paul likes to say that when he joined the Pentagon, nobody asked him what party he belonged to. Public service was something that went beyond partisan politics and reflected Paul's genuine and deep love of his community and country. In Glendale, he has been a pillar of the community, a mentor and a source of inspiration for many, especially those in the Armenian community, whom he has encouraged to follow him into public service. His commitment to education, civic engagement, and cultural preservation has proudly impacted the Armenian American community and the broader public. He has worked to promote understanding, tolerance, and unity, reflecting the values that make our community strong and vibrant. Paul's efforts in cultural preservation and education are particularly noteworthy. He has been instrumental in supporting initiatives that educate future generations about Armenian heritage and history, ensuring that the legacy of resilience and perseverance is not forgotten. Cognizant of his own upbringing as one of the first generations of Armenian Americans bridging cultures and starting new ones. His work has helped to create a bridge between the past and the present, fostering a sense of identity and pride in the community. As a young man, Paul worked as a seasonal clerk at the Glendale Post Office while attending college. His son recalls Paul's stories of madly sorting letters before Christmas. His fitting beginning at the post office makes the renaming of this institution in his honor all the more meaningful. It is a tribute to a man who has come full circle from his early days of hard work and dedication to becoming a distinguished leader and advocate for his community and the country. Renaming this post office after Paul Ignatius is more than a symbolic gesture. It is a recognition of a life devoted to service, community, and the greater good. It is a small tribute to a man who has exemplified the highest ideals of public service and whose contributions have had a lasting impact on our nation as it has on Glendale. Paul Ignatius' name on this post office will serve as a constant reminder of the values he represented throughout his career and to this day: courage, leadership, and an unwavering commitment to the safety, defense, and betterment of America and American society. Thank you, and I yield back.